You sound really stressed on the phone. Is there something the matter? Is there something happening? What's going off? Okay. So you've got a really important interview to go to? Yeah? And you're stressing? Well, don't stress. You'll be fine. You're always fine. I've told you this time and time again. You'll be absolutely fine. Just take a deep breath. So just feel how that calms you. Just keep doing that for a few seconds. Just in and out. Okay? Feeling a little better? Keep going. And just remember that I'm here now. We'll get through this. We'll sort whatever is causing you to feel stressed, and we'll get you through it, okay? So just okay. Are we feeling any better? Good. So when's the interview? Oh wow, okay, so we've got to get you ready, really. Yeah? Would you like it if I helped you with that, if we did it together? Because I'm looking at your hair and it needs a little bit of styling, because it's looking a little bit unruly right now, and your face is, well, other than being obviously beautiful and lovely, it could do with just a little bit of a perp? You're not a criminal. A bit of a pick me up. Just stop it looking so well, stressed, because you look stressed and it makes your skin look stressed. So what we'll do, first we'll leave your hair till last. You've got plenty of time for that. We need to sort your face out a little bit. So I'm looking around and noticing a lot of your ingredients lay out on the bed around me, so I'm assuming you had a funny feeling that I would help you with this. Yeah, I thought as much. So I'm going to scoot a little bit closer, and I think what we'll do first is give you a nice cleanse. So this is the cleanser that we use. This is the one that I got you on. It's a micellar cleansing water, so it's really good for sensitive skin, which I know you're like me, you have very sensitive skin. So we're going to use that. We're just going to shake it about a little bit, because that's what all the beauty gurus do, apparently. This goes very frothy, look, so you have to be quite careful how you shaky, but we'll get through it. Okay, and I'm going to take, just using very simple 100% cotton pads, which are just like this, just a cotton pad, and I'm just going to take the lid off of the micellar water. It seems to take a while to unscrew this one, which is always nice. Put that down there, and then we're just going to take the bottle and the pad, and we're just going to apply plenty of the product to the cotton pad. Just making sure to get it nice and wet. Don't want it to be drying before we've managed to apply any. Put the lid back on there, because we don't want to spill any on your bed. Then we'll just place it there. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just going to get a little closer again, and I'm going to start wiping it on your face. Okay, so just being very gentle, making sure to get into all the nooks and crannies of your face, as it were. So we're going to go up across the forehead, down by the eyes, just doing the bridge of the nose, and then underneath this eye, and underneath this eye. Perfect. Okay, and down this side of the face. Make sure to get as close to the ear as possible. Perfect, okay. Across the top lip, because People always seem to forget that area. Around this side and down by the chin. Across the chin to this side. Okay. Perfect. Does that feel fresh? I thought it would. Yeah, I love this micellar stuff. It's so just refreshing. So it always makes my skin feel supple and well, fresh. So next step after you've done that is a little bit of concealer. Not yet. We might get to that. A little bit of moisturizer. Now, I respect your choice in moisturiser very well. This is a brand that I know is cruelty free and suitable for vegans, which is, I didn't realise that makeup products could not be suitable for vegans, but that's my own ignorance rather than anything else. And it's made with natural ingredients. It looks like this, so it's just a Bulldog original 24-hour moisturiser. Not that I know anybody who keeps the same moisturiser on for 24 hours, but if there ever became an emergency where you had to, at least you could. Okay, so now this I know to be quite a thick moisturiser, quite a strong moisturiser. It's not the sort of one that you want to be applying too much of. It looks just like that inside. Probably that's not really helpful for you to see, but in fact I don't think you can even see. But it's literally just a thick cream, so you only want to put a little bit on. So the way I always do it is gently tap into it, get a little bit onto my finger, so that sort of amount, just that small. You don't need much more than that. I'm just going to tap your nose, your forehead, need a little bit more for the cheeks. Have you got any dry areas I need to be too concerned about? Let me have a quick look. I think you're alright. So a little bit onto the cheek, and that cheek, and then the chin. You shouldn't forget the chin, a lot of people do. And the neck. Just a little bit onto each side in the middle of the neck, and a smidge bit more up on the forehead. Okay, so wipe off any excess, then we can reseal that up. Pop it down. Okay, so we're going to just very gently start rubbing that into the skin. So now I'm not going to do the under eye area because, as you know, we like to save a little bit for we like to put a dedicated under eye moisturiser on. So we're just going to go this cheek, rubbing it in very gently, but making sure to get everywhere. Okay, I'm rubbing it into this cheek. Perfect. Okay. Top lip. Again, everyone forgets that with moisturiser. And your lips are looking a little bit dry. Have you got any Lipsil or anything like that? If I were you, I'd get some on before you go in for your meeting. Make things a lot easier. Okay. Across the forehead. Perfect. How are we feeling? Are we any calmer? Any more relaxed? Good. Okay, so as we mentioned, we're going to go in with an under eye concealer, under eye moisturiser. This one is again by Bulldog, again vegan free, cruelty free, and with natural ingredients, which is always nice. I like to put as little amount of chemical on my face as possible. And that looks like this. I'm not obviously being paid to promote them, I just enjoy their products. This has got vitamin E in, which I happen to know is very good for under the eyes. So let's just take So this looks like this when you open it. It's like a little ball that you'll see. Well, this is yours, so you know, but we just roll it under the eye a little bit over the top, but not too much because it's not designed for under there really. And then the same again this side, just very gently under the eye. There we go, perfect. Okay, there we go then. So just gonna let that settle in for a little bit while I decide what we're going to do next. So further here, all we're going to use is age-old favourite, some VO5 matte clay. This is all I ever use in my hair to make it stick up, and I know you're the same, so we'll use some of that. And then I don't know if you can hear, but it is incredibly windy out there today, so we're definitely going to need some hairspray. For hairspray, what I tend to use is the Got to Be Glued by Schwartz. I can't say it, but it's by them. So that's that. This is a blasting free spray. Blasting free spray for screaming hold. Freeze fix, and it's got the ultimate hold. And believe me, with the wind out there today, you're gonna need it. So let's just remind ourselves of that. This is like proper hard hitting spray, like you want, and it's like your hair won't move for the rest of the day. I mean, mine's pretty solid, and I've put a little bit in today. I'm not going to use that to last though, well, almost last. There's one step that we'll save till the very last. Okay, breathe. So, you're going for an interview. I have noticed that there are some small but noticeable signs of like redness and a couple of tiny little spots. I know you're not normally the sort of person who cares about that, but perhaps for your interview we should just help you feel a bit more confident by just covering them up a little bit. You don't have to. I mean, you do you rock how you want to rock, but no, you want to. That's all right. I thought you would. I had a feeling. So what we're going to put on before we do anything to cover up any spots or anything like that is we're going to put on some of this. So this is it's like a primer, but it says spot fighting, and well, I'll just read it. It's by La Roche-Posay, and it's an Effaclar Duo. That's obviously not English. It's anti-marks, and it's corrective, unclogging and anti-imperfections. So what it does is it blurs any redness out as best it can, and it also helps to fight future spots, so that's good. So but it is basically a primer. It will go onto the skin and leave the skin feeling really silky, which for what we've got planned is perfect. So it looks like this when you take it off, and you only need that sort of amount should be just perfect. That should cover the entire face. You don't want to get it under the eyes because sort of the way the texture that leaves the skin is not good for under eyes. So looks like that when you've got a little dab on your finger. It looks a bit like, well, you can probably guess, but that's the way it looks. So we just very gently going to rub some of that into your forehead, just to even out the skin tone and get rid of any signs of the redness. Plus it makes putting any kind of concealer on so much easier. And then we're going to put some on the nose, just very gently onto the nose, down the sides of the nose, and then just lastly into the cheeks. You want to be making sure that all the cheeks are covered. There's no point doing your chin because you've got stubble, so we'll leave the chin out of this. Okay, just making sure to really rub it in, because you don't want too much of this sitting in one place because it might dry the skin out a little bit. A lot of people forget to do the septum as well, so we'll just get there. Okay, and across the forehead just one last time, rubbing it in. Okay, so that's that on. You've got to leave that a few seconds again to soak in, just to sort of dry, because you want it to not still be slimy, not slimy, but you know what I mean. You don't want it to be anything. Okay, so let's just check, see how much longer I need to leave that for. Okay. Hey, at least the rain and snow stopped today. That's a positive. Yeah, I woke up to 2 inches of snow this morning, and it's already gone. It's melted away already, but it was kind of shocking to see that. I finished work at midnight last night, and I drove home in a t-shirt because it was still warm, so I was not expecting to wake up at 9 o'clock this morning to snow. It was a bit of a shock to me. Okay, so now what we're going to do is conceal. So obviously we want you to look as natural as possible. That's the aim. I know that's what you always like to look. So for concealer, what I always tend to use when I have a spot is some of this. This is by L'Oreal. No, it's not, it's by Maybelline. Sorry, L'Oreal. It's Instant Anti-Aging Eraser concealer. It's got goji berry and haloxyl in it. This is shade 3 Fair, because bitch is fair. So you take the lid off and it looks like this. It's like a brush, but too much product comes out, so you actually use it like a brush, so I have got a brush that we'll use. So where I would always recommend using this one is under the eyes. It's amazing under the eyes. It just I've tried other concealers under the eyes and they've sort of left lines under the eyes and dry out under the eyes and just don't look very good. This doesn't. This is just amazing. So what we're going to do is just draw some under the eye to get product out if it's not coming, if there's none in the brush, because it basically comes up this tube and into the brush and sits in the brush, and then you draw it on where you want it. But if you want more product, then you just twist the top. There's little arrows to tell you. I don't know if you can see those. And then you just, as we are doing, gently draw some underneath the eyes. You don't want to go too mad, but what a lot of people do is just go under the eye like that. What you should do is try and go into a sort of triangle into the side of the nose, so that all of this area has some on it, because that way your all of the area matches, rather than it being like just this bit being covered, if that makes sense. So we're going to do a little triangle under each eye, and then what we're going to do is just go through and so you can see a bit of redness there, smidgy bit just there, little bit there, little bit just there. You have got a spot that's going to have a yellow head on it very soon, so you might want to have a look at that when you get back. Don't go picking it before you go. Okay, so just drawing on there as well. Your neighbours just had the kids dropped off, so they're being noisy again. If you watched my last roleplay, it smells really nice. Give that a smell. I don't know whether that's the goji berry or what. So we've dotted some of that on, and now we're going to take a brush. Now I usually just use my fingers, but I've been told recently that by using a brush you get a more natural finish. A lot of people use those like a sponge, but I couldn't find one of those, so we got a brush. This is just I don't know what kind of brush it is, or whether it's got a special name, but it's just a brush that looks a bit like a toothbrush actually. And the way it works, you just dab on. I will probably still need to use my finger under your eye a little bit, if that's alright. So we're just going to start dabbing in. Dab it in. Dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. And under this eye, just dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. Okay, so I'm going to get my finger in just into the corner. I'm just using my finger literally on this area because the brush is a little too big. so well, this concealer, it's unbelievable. I've tried so many different concealers and this is the only one I've actually been able to find that's actually in my shade. Okay, and then the forehead. Okay. Wow. Sun has definitely come out. Okay, just tapping the last little bit in. Okay, so how does that feel? It doesn't feel too heavy, I hope, because it's to say how good a coverage this gives, it's a very lightweight feeling concealer, so you shouldn't feel too heavy faced, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to do your hair next because I don't want to get, if I get any hairspray on your face, then I've got a way of sorting that before you go. So we're just going to open this, and it looks like this inside, but more full normally. I do need to get some more, and you just genuinely only need a tiny little bit, like this sort of amount. You don't really want any more than that. And what we're going to do is, so because the bottom of mine is now empty, I find that I'm able to use the bottom of it to warm the product up, which makes it go into the hair so much better. Okay, so we're just taking a sort of a pea-sized amount, and we're just going to rub it into the hair. So just, we're going to rub it into my hands first, just to make sure that it goes off my hands all through the hair. So just come in a bit closer. Just going to make sure that all the hair is covered. Okay, so let's just start placing some of your hair. A little bit back there. Your fringe wants to go more like that, I think. Just, oof. I'm trying to look at you from the side, but I'm going to be being blinded, so we'll look from this side instead. Okay, push that up a little bit. Same that side, and then flatten all the back down, because that's getting, there we go. Okay, just taking a look again. Okay, I'm happy. I think that looks really good. Do you want to take a look in the mirror, or are you going to trust me? Good. Okay, so let's take the hairspray. You already know this product, you don't need me to show you again. Okay, so just give it a good shake, and then just going to want to spray a little bit from that side, a little bit for that side, a little bit over the top, and just a little fixer up there and there. Okay, and then we can just sort out any little flyaways that are trying to escape. Okay, hair is looking awesome, very happy. Okay, so what we're going to do now to just finish is I'm going to take my final product to put on your face, and this is just going to help make sure that you, even though you're getting stressed a little bit, you might start getting oily skin because of it, because that's what my skin does when I get stressed. I just suddenly start to get really oily skin. I mean, you are very similar, so as is proven by every single product I own, you also owning. So what we're going to do is just apply a little bit of powder. This is a Stay Matte powder. Now, I wouldn't recommend using this all the time. I wouldn't recommend using it just for going to the gym, or going to the shops, or even just day-to-day life. Because it can clog pores up and then cause more spots, but I just use this when it's something really important, such as you for today. So this is by Rimmel. It's a Stay Matte powder. the packaging is really rubbish on this powder, but the actual product is amazing. It's just so good at keeping me looking powdered, not powdered, making my skin look as matte as possible for as long as possible, because boy do we have a problem with oily skin sometimes. And this is in shade 2, Pink Blossom, because bitch is fair. And some people use a brush, some people use well, either a brush or one of these little things that are inside this one. This didn't come with it yet, I bought this separately, but I love this thing because it just it creates a really even finish with it, because I don't want to look like I've got any on. I want it to look as natural as possible. So you just gently dab it in there and then knock off any excess, and then we start applying it. So start with your forehead. You want to be dabbing rather than dab and press, rather than like going like that. I don't know how to describe it. So we'll just put some onto the forehead. I'm only going to put some on your T-zone because you don't really need any anywhere else. So you come down the nose. Don't worry about being a little bit shiny, because a little bit of shine is natural and looks better, but you just don't want to have too much shine. Okay, bring it down the side of the nose. Okay, and a little bit more. We're just going to do under here and under here, because that will set the concealer that I put under there, and stop that from, because concealer gets oily over time on its own as well. So you want to make sure that you've got a bit of powder over any concealer, just to make sure that it's not going to go overly shiny. Okay, a little bit just there. Perfect. Okay, so let's put that away. Just sit still for me. I'm just going to have one last look. Just, wow, I keep getting blinded going that way. Okay. Yeah, I think you look really good. You look epic. Big win. You're obviously going to go and kill this interview now, because that's what you do. I know full well you'll be amazing, because it's just you and that's what you do. If you need any help, if you need, do you need me to help you pick an outfit, or have you already got one sorted? I was hoping you were going to say you were going to go with that. It looked really good on the Instagram picture you put on the other day. Yeah, of course I follow you on Instagram. Kind of friend would I be if I didn't? So, obviously, do you need me to take you to the interview? How are you getting there? You got a taxi, or you? Of course I don't mind taking you. No, that's fine. How were you going to get there if I'd have said no? The bus. Well, I'll take you. We can listen to some calming music on the way there. I don't class Champion by RuPaul as calming music, but it's motivational music, I guess, so that's just as good. Okay, well, give me 1 second to pack all your stuff away for you while you get changed, and then we'll head off. Have you had a drink recently? Because I think you need to make sure you're hydrated before you go in. I think hydration is like the key to anything, of everything, so that's just my opinion. Okay, so yeah, just be really careful you don't mess your hair up, because I will be upset if you do. I'm only joking. Okay, you go and get ready, and I will put your stuff away, clear up for you. I'm just that kind of person, obviously. I'm sorry. If you get the job, then yes, we can go for a drink, but we're not going for a drink beforehand. That's never a good idea. Yes, we'll go for a drink and a McDonald's if you're really good. Alright, go and get changed. Stop wasting time. I know what you're doing. Right, go and get changed. See you in a minute.